Welcome to Life Rebounding. Thank you for joining me again today as we continue to look at the priceless Lamb of God. And today we're looking at the sorrowful Lamb based on Isaiah 53 and verse 3, the second part of verse 3, where it refers to the suffering servant, the priceless Lamb of God, as a man of sorrows, familiar with suffering. I love to golf. Now, I won't claim to be a good golfer, but I enjoy golf. I love getting out with some friends and going for the walk and chasing a ball around the golf course. I love the relationships that go with it, the opportunity you have to spend time with those friends. But I also enjoy the physical aspects of it, and that there's a physical test of your skill that's required in all of this. And as you play golf, you discover that you either have a certain set of skills, or you discover you don't, or you're somewhere in between. Well, one of the things about playing golf is the equipment has something to do with what happens. And years ago, golf balls were all smooth skinned. And what they discovered was, as the balls got roughed up, they traveled farther. And so now the manufacturers all put dimples on golf balls. And one of the things that suggests to me is that sometimes in life we go through rough spots, and those rough spots can actually be opportunities to help us travel farther in our journey with Christ and our journey of faith. And so as we look at the sorrowful Lamb today, one of the things that I'm reminded of is this suffering servant who is a man of sorrows, familiar with suffering. I think you could call that somebody that's familiar with rough patches. And certainly we see one who has made it possible for us to travel a longer journey by faith. He experienced all of the sorrows that human beings experience, not the least of which were his own and experiences of life and disappointments that went with it, I'm sure. But as he went to the cross, he experienced all of our sorrows and all of our pain. He was that one who knew what it was to see people in pain, in sickness, in suffering. He saw the issues of violence and injustice. He saw people who died prematurely, either at the hands of others or because of violence or accidents or whatever the case may be. He was one who saw the fickleness of the human heart and experienced that firsthand in terms of how the disciples would walk away from him as he was dying on the cross. He experienced broken relationships. He saw what that was like. He experienced betrayal. He experienced broken trust. All the things that we know by way of the sorrows of life, Jesus knew. And because of that, he's able to help those who are going through rough patches now. One of my favorite verses, and you've heard me say this before, is from Hebrews 2, verse 18, which says, because he himself suffered, he's able to help those who are suffering. And that's an incredible comfort and encouragement to me, and I trust it is for you too. He comes as that great physician to effect a cure for our sorrows, to take care of our pains and our sickness. And he filled up his body with our sorrows so that he could bring that relief, so he could bring that cure, suffering for us, so that we could have peace with God through a reconciled relationship through Christ and what he's done on the cross, and peace with ourselves, and peace with each other. And so as we look at this priceless Lamb of God, the sorrowful Lamb today, let's be reminded that there is one who knows everything we go through in our lives, who cares about us, who loves us, and who comes to be present with us in whatever we're going through to bring his strength and his grace to bear. May that be an encouragement to you today as you think about the sorrowful Lamb.